Welcome. This is a series of videos to inform the public regarding the truth of history entitled Lies About the Formation of the United States of America. This is lesson number 4, Perceived Peace, April 26, 1783 through January 14, 1784, written by the Union States Assembly historian, and the video is presented by Union States Assembly. This information can be found on the Union States Assembly website at www.unionstatesassembly.org. We will be doing a brief introduction of some of the basic facts you have not been taught about the formation of the United States of America by the public and private fool systems, which is where Americans get brainwashed and are told lies. In this lesson, we will be looking at several documents, which are the Journals of the Continental Congress and the Definitive Treaty of Peace. These documents can be found on our website as well as the Library of Congress. It is important to produce these documents in order to prove the truth of what Union States Assembly is presenting. Without such, this could be just another one of those internet speculation videos which many people believe as being true but provide no proof of such claims. We will also be looking at morals and dogma of the ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry, or just simply morals and dogma. Why? We need to try and understand who these founders or framers were. Many were Freemasons. Let's get started. On April 26, 1783, in an address to the states, Congress declares the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union and the Confederation that was formed to be the greatest trust ever confided to a political society. See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 24, pages 277 through 283. Besides being an international treaty and compact between 13 sovereign and independent states or nations, the founders also created a trust for the benefit of the sovereign states and thereby the sovereign people populating them. When we look at the governments today, they are all corporations. Creating a trust for the benefits of the states or nations and thereby the people thereof, is quite a refreshing and wonderful thing to contemplate. However, the owners of all the capital-lettered United States rule today, and that is not a wonderful thing to contemplate. In fact, that is the reason for these lessons, that is, to see if we can find out where things went wrong. On December 13, 1783, Congress meets in Annapolis, Maryland, and has presented the definitive treaty of peace between Great Britain and the United States of America, which was signed September 10, 1783 in Paris, France. See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 25, page 812. On January 14, 1784, with 9 states being present, Congress unanimously ratifies the peace treaty. See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 26, pages 22 through 31. The World War is now officially over. Yes, it was a world war, and not just a war between the United States of America and Great Britain. However, unmentioned in the debates of this treaty is no provision for the King of Great Britain to actually cede land to the United States of America, as had been the principle of past treaties among sovereigns. See Treaty of Paris 1763, and how the King of France cedes lands to the victor, the King of Great Britain. Word trickery is used, such as relinquishes all claims to the government, propriety, and territorial rights of the same, in every part thereof, but there is no mention of ceding the land and giving a allodial title to the Americans, again as was the practice in previous treaties. Thus, the states and Americans are now sovereign but own no title to any land. Can you believe that? Yet, that is what was actually done, but unfortunately is not expressed in the Journals of the Continental Congress, unless Congress knew but didn't say. Now is the time to get into a brief discussion regarding Freemasonry, as all 3 American representatives that signed this peace treaty were Freemasons, as were many other delegates, etc. The exact numbers or percentages of Freemasons in Congress and the state legislatures may never be known, but what is known shows it to be a substantial amount. Now is the time to review some of the items previously mentioned that said they would be explained later. Although Albert Pike lived 100 years after the forming of the Confederation known as the United States of America, his writing exposes the teachings of Freemasonry of his times and previous times. In his book Morals and Dogma, which at one time was given to Masons achieving the 32nd degree, there are several quotes on how the higher rank Freemasons are to act. Masonry, like all the religions, all the mysteries, Hermeticism, and alchemy, conceals its secrets from all except the adepts and sages or the elect, and uses false explanations and misinterpretations of its symbols to mislead those who deserve only to be misled, to conceal the truth, which it calls light, from them, and to draw them away from it. See pages 104 through 105. Part of the symbols are displayed there to the initiate, but he is intentionally misled by false interpretations. It is not intended he shall understand them, but it is intended that he shall imagine he understands them. See page 819. There must always be a commonplace interpretation for the mass of initiates of the symbols that are eloquent to the adepts. See page 819. And the adept are 33 degree and above Freemasons. What the above shows is that Freemasons will not only deceive the public, but other lower-ranking Freemasons too. Knowing how Freemasons were involved in creating the Confederation might give one the impression that the whole revolution thing was a deliberate act according to Masonic teachings, and that it did not occur spontaneously, or that some evil things is or are involved for some nefarious reason or reasons. Also, if one knows something about numerology, then one will understand why there are 13 colonies involved and not 12 or 14. Also, if one knows something about astrology, then one will know why things occurred on July 4 as they did and not on some other date. Also, the 1776 in Roman numerals shown on the bottom row of bricks on the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill does not necessarily signify July 4, 1776, but possibly May 1, 1776, which was the founding of the Order of the Illuminati, or communistic teachings, by a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt, in Bavaria. Also, if one knows something of Freemasonry teachings, then they will understand why Congress designated the stars in the blue field on the American flag a new constellation. Also, if one knows something of Esquires, they having their main allegiance to the crown, and this is the Crown Temple, that is the Knights Templar, and not the British Crown, and that Franklin, Adams, and Jay were Esquires who signed the peace treaty on America's behalf, along with an Esquire appointed by King George III to sign on behalf of him in Great Britain. Also, if one knows that the Jesuits created the Order of the Illuminati and eventually infiltrated the Freemasons, and also eventually along with almost all other secret and non-secret societies and organizations, etc., across the world, and took it over and instilled their philosophy, which is communism, and replaced Freemason philosophy with that, then one might understand what is happening today in America. I only have one thing to say about all of this. Who cares? It does not matter whether any or all of this is true. What we know, as of January 14, 1784, that is true is this. A confederation known as the United States of America is formed in 1781 with 13 sovereign states filled with sovereign people. B, they fight a war for their independence and win with the help of their allies. C, they created a lawful law form that still exists to this day and is still recognized around the world. It has never been replaced or done away with.